if you haven't already after this video, go and watch the 3 teams that I expect to rise up the ladder as well, just to complete the perfect pairing here. But 3 teams that I think are going to fall down the ladder. Now, weirdly enough, I don't think anyone is going to fall down the ladder as significantly as some of the teams I think might rise. You think of the teams that I've spoken about already in the preseason, because I don't want to spoil that earlier video. I think there could be quite some dramatic rises up the ladder, but I don't feel like there are going to be any real dramatic, and I'm talking like maybe 6+ spots plummeting down the ladder. So I thought I'd look at the teams that I am most confident going maybe 3+, I think was a really good threshold, because in terms of someone plummeting down the ladder, if you don't mind my sound effects, I couldn't really find any. But teams that I'm confident won't be anywhere near as strong as last year, I got you covered. Let's go. I do feel for Port here, don't get me wrong. 17 wins last year. Awesome. And I know that I backed them to beat Brisbane over there in the preliminary final and even made a video about it. And that didn't age well. That's not why Port are in here. I remember bringing this up with someone and I was like, I was going to talk about this and put Port Adelaide in the video. And that was actually their first question. Is this because they made you look a little bit silly? No, they don't. Because even, when I'm right, awesome. But if I make a prediction and I'm wrong, you own up to it, but holding a grudge against a team for this long and wanting them to fail would be ridiculous. I don't want Port Adelaide to fail. I don't even think Port Adelaide are going to fail that badly. I'm seeing them outside of some people's top 8s. I am nowhere near ready to go that far yet, but this is a simple case of I have more belief in other teams. It's not that I think Port Adelaide are going to get significantly worse. I see more clubs as getting better. Obviously, Collingwood and Brisbane are going to be 1 and 2 in most people's power rankings. But I'm still looking at Carlton, GWS, Adelaide. I'm even looking at a side like Sydney, to be honest, who I feel like I am liking more and more than maybe some other people. Might be a future video, who knows. But I think Port Adelaide's trouble is if they're going to go up against so many good teams in the competition, I do struggle a little bit to say they're outwardly a contender. So the result of that is going to be a drop down the ladder. But will I kick them out of my top 8? No. Number 2, because if you're going to annoy some fan bases, why not double down?
It's a grand old flag, it's a high-flying flag, it's the emblem for me and for you.
I want to make this very clear, Demons fans, before you go me in the comments. This has got nothing to do with Clary. It's got nothing to do with Joel Smith. It actually has nothing to do with your off-the-field stuff. Clary's back training with the group at the time of recording, and if you watched my 1 positive predictions video, you'll know that my positive prediction for Melbourne is that Clary's back to his best, because I believe that that would be an amazing thing, not just for him, but the Melbourne Football Club as well. You are in the same boat as Port, but for a different reason. I do struggle with the fact that they're just not going to score that well this year. Shane McAdam, for me, does bring another dynamic to that forward line, but he doesn't bring the amount of goals, I don't think, in comparison to someone else that's potentially going to play his spot, or would have if he wasn't at the Melbourne Footy Club this year. I think too much is being put on Van Rooyen's shoulders. I just don't think Ben Brown and Tom McDonald are going to produce their 2021 form in order to bring that aerial threat. I think too much is on JVR, too much is on Bailey Fritsch, and if they're still relying on Christian Petrarca to kick goals as well as they did, not nearly as much as people I think said in last year's home and away season. I think they kind of vastly overrated a little bit how much Petrarca was relied on. It really was only a 2 or 3 week period there, and he did such a bloody good job of it, especially in that Bulldogs game. But again, I've got more faith in more sides, and that's why I can see them dropping. Are they going to be in my top 4? No. Can they win the flag? If they get it all right, they can. But if I was going to put a fake dollar on it, no way am I putting them in my top 4. Not right now. Absolutely not.
We're from Tiger, yellow and black, we're from Tigerland.
So speaking of calling out yourself when you're wrong about something, I did a video on whether Richmond are going to be terrible in 2024 before the draft started, and I got a few things wrong in that video, most notably their draft haul, forgetting that the Tim Taranto and Jacob Hopper trade stuff didn't exist. basically in the upcoming draft cycles. So all of that was done, and I got that completely wrong. Kane McAuliffe has done a beautiful job on the track. But I worry about Richmond's ability to score in the air. Tom Lynch is not 100% fit yet. Jacob Kazitsky isn't a forward. And what I mean by that is that he grew up and was the fullback or centre-half back of the under-18s All-Australian team the year he was drafted. Yes, he swung forward with some positive results. I know Hawthorn fans did treat him as a whipping boy. I've probably done that in the past. Well, not probably. I definitely have done that. One of those guys that when the Hawks weren't going well seemed to be a guy to blame, but he still was producing pretty good results for the games that he played, but he's not a number one forward. And hopefully with some continuity at the Tigers, he can prove himself to be a number two. But when I'm seeing that Noah Bolter is also training with the forwards, clearly they're worried about their aerial impact, and what that means for them defensively is also a worry. And again, I'm seeing too much encouragement from other teams, and I just can't see Richmond getting to a point where they're going to be around that mark. Now, I don't think they're going to win the Spoon. I don't really think they're going to finish 17th. But again, fake dollar, bottom four. Probably. So I know I've just annoyed 3 fan bases there, and I would be more than happy to put my hand up at the end of the year to say I was wrong. I mean, I did a top 10 worst takes, and they were all mine last year. So more than happy to put my hand up if I was wrong. But if you're a fan of these teams, defend them. Tell me why I'm wrong. What are you excited about these teams? If you don't barrack for these teams, do you agree? Do you disagree? Comment below. Tell me why. I love replying to you guys. And fingers crossed, we get to the 2,500 subscriber mark. I am filming this before we got there, so if we're already there, a massive thank you to everyone. This has been a wild journey, and 2024 is going to be the best year ever. I know that. Hopefully you do too. If we're not there yet, click that subscribe button and get it up to 2,500, or just click the subscribe button anyway. Like the video if you like the video. Comment below to get involved. Have an absolutely amazing weekend. I know I will. I'm in Melbourne for the NF concert, and I cannot wait. Goodbye.